So you've reached endgame and you want to know how on earth this Lansrad thing works. You know, this menu right here, it's super confusing. How do you get voting power and how do you actually accomplish this? And what do you actually get for doing it? Well, if we look here, we can see that I am House Atreides, and how you know what house you are, you'd go ahead and look in your inventory, and then next to your face, you would have your standing with each house, and then once you've got a certain level of standing, you could go ahead and apply for one of the houses. Now as well, your guild can go ahead and join a house, as we can see here. Our guild right now is currently sitting with House Atreides, and if you do betray the House Atreides and you go, for instance, to Harkonnen, if you're in this guild, it would kick you out of the guild. You can only betray once, you won't be able to actually come back. So make sure you choose wisely exactly how you want to go and what you want to do to start off with. So anyway, back to the Lansrad. How does it work? Well, we can see here we've got multiple different claims, and there's a way to lock it in so you actually win the Lansrad a lot sooner than the actual Lansrad term. You could have won this in the first day, providing that the blocks did come available. Stinky, Night Elf, just subscribed on YouTube. You subscribe to me on YouTube or Twitch while I'm making a video, I'll make sure I give you a shout out. So yeah, basically this works like a Connect 5. If you want it to end before the Lansrad term, you would have had to have got 5 in a row, unfortunately, but right now you can't get any 5 in a row because the closest would be this one, or if we had claimed this one, wait, we actually can. If we win Mutelli, Ikaz, Hurata and Vernius, we can actually go ahead and get ourselves 5 in a row, meaning we'd win the Lansrad this week. But anyway, how do you actually participate and how do you get points for your team? So you want to highlight over one of them. Let's take one of them that are currently active but have got nothing worked towards. So we can see here the Lansrad House Marrows. It's got a goal amount 0 out of 70,000, and the points and how you get them are listed just below that goal amount. So below we can see per kill of Atreides house troops would give us 23 points, and per minute while holding a control point would give us 10 points. Now the holding of the control points probably the worst way of doing this, because as you can see how many minutes you're going to need to get out to that 70,000 mark is going to take a seriously long time. So the best thing to do would actually be going ahead and doing the PVE activities to do it. And then you see at the bottom of the screen right there, the personal contribution is 0, because right now to this Lansrad House Marrows, I've contributed nothing, and neither has anyone else, because no one's killed Atreides house troops, or no one has held onto that control point for any given moment. Now, if you in your personal contribution have gone and held it for the 700 points, you would be awarded 10,000 Solari at the end of the week. And like there, with the 3,500, you would get the Syndicate boots. The 7,000, you'd get the improved Holtzman actuators. The 10,500, you get the Cauterizers. I'm not too sure what the name is. And then you get 14,000, you get the House Marrows Steel Suit Armor Swatch, which would be really good. Every single one has got their own rewards, as we can see, and they're different. And it all goes down to personal contribution and if you actually claim it. Because this one I might have contributed to, which we can see there, personal contribution 1,512. But I'm not going to get any of these rewards because it got claimed by the House Harkonnen. So that is completely out of play for me. So you'd have to find one, for instance, this one I have contributed to. I almost got myself the Emperor's Wings Mark 5, but I didn't manage to get the 3,500 points personal contribution before that it got claimed. So I was missing out on literally 300 points to have actually got myself them Emperor Wings, but regardless, I'm going to get the 10,000 Solari. So we are literally about to lock in this one, and we need to lock in these 3 to actually win the House Lansrad this week. Martin David just subscribed while I'm making the video. Let's flip and go. You can see also this one, the Hurata, I've contributed to. This is probably one of the easiest ones. Now this is going off of the Atreides side. For the Harkonnen side, you have to do the same thing, just in a different location. We can see that on this quest right here, all we've got to do is deliver copper ingots. I've delivered currently 1,678 copper ingots. So this is why you want to get massive stacks of every single material in the game. So when these things come available, you can go and deliver them straight away and get your team the most points, meaning you can get that earnings from it. But where do you go and deliver these copper ingots? Well, let me show you. Well, if your House Atreides, you'd come to the Atreides outpost, the main base, and you would look on the map and you would go to the Quartermaster. You can see that this landing pad here is where the Quartermaster is, and I'm in a local PVE zone or exchanging zone currently. Now you want to make sure you've got the material on you. Like there we can see that I've got the ingot on me, and you want to go over to the person themselves, the Quartermaster, and then you want to talk to them and you want to say what you're doing, and then you say all right, and then you can see on the left of the screen we have just given and contributed towards that. So by looking at it, we can see that we have contributed a little bit more. It's got a refresh in 10 seconds, or when it does refresh, we'll see that go from 1678 to 1679. There we go, that is refreshed, and this will work with absolutely everything. So it's delivering the Regis Karpov, so you got to make weapons there. Here it would be kill deserters, and then you'll get points there. Here it would be like deliver them Jabal spit darts, so you got to make them weapons, deliver them, and there's many of things that you can do and many different quests. So this is why it's really good to actually hoard onto every single item, because you don't know how little the thing's going to be. Whether it is copper ingots, that's going to be very little, but it's going to be very impactful. And if I was to actually go ahead and invest 14,000 copper ingots, we'd have got the steel suit armor swatch for the House Hirata. Now, the only one that hasn't been touched here is this one, and I do know that I can achieve this really quick, or not really quick, but I know where they are to kill the Atreides house troops, and I'm going to show you. But we've got currently 86 voting power because we've been doing loads of this. Meaning, what is the voting power? When you get the Lansrad term, if you get it or they get it, you would go over to the decree and you would invest your points into one of these, and the team, the one that gets the most points invested in will be the one that will come available to the whole of the Atreides and not the Harkonnen. So let me show you, for example, us gathering points in terms of the killing. And for the House Harkonnen, you'd go over to the Harkonnen base that you'd see over here, and you'd have to find the quartermaster. When you are the Harkonnen, it would show up exactly where the quartermaster is for you to go, and you do the exact same thing. Now, as you can imagine, doing this as a team would actually go ahead and earn you a lot more points for your actual guild, but in this case we're going to go ahead and do it as a solo, and just try and benefit our base or our house as much as possible, just for the sakes of this video. And then I'm going to share this in the guild, so if you're not part of the Discord, come to the link in the description. In the Discord is where I will show stuff like my best builds. We're going to get loads of other stuff like the websites that you can go to. In here we've got a whole Dune Awakening like base build section, unique builds, where we find products, and then when we find these products we make sure we upload them so people know where they are. And then we've got a big old Dune chat of everyone in here talking. So come on over to the Discord. Also, the link is in the description for the Twitch. I go live on Tuesdays, Wednesdays and Thursdays. And then also, if you want to help out this channel, if you find this video useful, make sure you go ahead and subscribe to me on YouTube and leave the video a nice like. And if you want more content like this, go ahead and ring that notification bell, and every time I upload a video you'll be notified. So if you want to watch it, you can do so. So the best place to find these Atreides bases, you will find them along the edge of the map, the northern part of the map, the western shield wall. And as you can see right here, we have found one of these bases. All I have to do now is go in and kill the soldiers. They're wearing green suits, and this is going to be a really easy way for me to contribute towards the house. The good thing about doing these killing ones is, yet again, it's going to really help your team out in terms of you're going to get points for the team, and you're even going to level up to get that level that we can see here in the top right corner to increase, meaning we're going to be able to maximize our skills. So here is one of the enemies. Now we can see their Atreides because obviously their colors. It makes them really easy to identify. We can see we've killed one there. I'm going to kill these three, and then we can see that we have contributed towards the weekly thing as soon as it resets. So there we go. We've killed 3 people. Let's go ahead and go out. And if we go and look at these, the House Marrows, when this next refreshes, we'll see our personal contribution. Okay, for some reason, these troops here are not counting towards it. And it does say when you read the description that the found on the deep desert shield wall, which is the PVE area, is where you can find them. But this should have actually worked. However, it's not working. So I'm going to head out into the deep desert and the shield wall, which is still a PVE area, and go and do the exact same thing. I'm going to kill some more of these just to see if it's bugged, or it's taking a little bit longer to react, or maybe it's a certain type of soldier to make it activate. Okay, so I've killed multiple of these, and as we can see, it's not actually contributed to it, so I'm going to have to head out into the deep desert to do this. But while I'm here, I might as well get myself some tasty flipping loot. Do not go out that side, because there is some trip mines on the floor, which is pretty ridiculous, but hey ho. But just from doing this little part of the building, I've got myself 4,000 Solari. So this might be one of the best places to farm Solari. Okay, so to get to the deep desert, all you want to do is literally fly up, and you want to fly through any opening, or you want to go over the top. Going over the top would probably be over max altitude, so you don't really want to do that. And I'm literally just going to glide there. This is why it's actually quite good to go ahead and build a base on the shield wall, because if any quests take you out at least you don't have to worry about traveling too far. You can literally just head out of your base and straight through the shield wall. If you want to go and check out my building tips and base locations, go to my other videos in the description. And if you want to build a penta shield that is not on just an edge of a wall and you want to make a clear opening box without any walls or corner edges, then make sure you go and check out my last video. So let's go ahead up to the shield wall, and they're thinking about actually making it so you take damage when you go into it. So it might be good practice now to actually start hovering just before you hit it, and then going ahead and clicking on it. So to find the deep desert, if you're in an open map, just go ahead and press M and then go and click deep desert and track. And then you get this little arrow next to your icon, which shows you where it is. And then you just go in that area. Now, these will be the first 3 areas. There's 9 blocks in the deep desert. So this would be 1 to 3. This would be 3 to 6. And this would be 6 to 9. So wherever you go in would be where you're going to appear in the deep desert. So now that we're in the deep desert, this is classed as the deep desert shield wall. Anything that is in sector A, all the way from A1 to A9. You can see that going over into sector B is when you start to enter into the deep desert zones. Now, it could be really good for you to bring a probe out here, and by bringing a probe out here, you're going to be able to see everything that's available in the area, rather than me right now having to fly around and trying to find exactly where anything is. And we're trying to look for the house Atreides soldiers, so we can kill them and get ourselves that bonus towards the Lansrad. Now, they don't have bases in here like you would see out there. So what you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to look for caves and Imperial testing stations. This is a player-made base, so we don't want to worry about that. I mean, this doesn't look like a player-made base, but I can almost guarantee it is. It is, because we see the wind farms on the top there. So that is a player-made base, even though they've made it look almost like it was made by the NPCs themselves. Still be warned though, in the PVE zones, you do have the shipwrecks. These, no matter where you are, will always be PvP active. So always be mindful and always be cautious that when entering one of these, if you see another ship or hear any enemies fighting, you might want to be careful. And we can actually see there, looking up at that we have got the House of Atreides guards up here. So I'm going to put my shield on. I'm going to go up. I'm going to put my Litany of Fear on. I'm going to go ahead and put my other buff on. Off, and we're taking damage pretty darn quick. Go ahead and start trying to work away at the big dude, because he's the biggest problem for us here. Right, let's go ahead and heal up a little bit, because that pretty darn hurt. I should have probably done my buffs before getting up there, so we could have the biggest bonuses and benefits. Oh. He's working like a PvP player. There we go. He was a little bit difficult. Put out a ranged weapon. Let's start shooting him. There we go. That makes it a little bit easier, rather than them dodging around and going all crazy on me. Yeah, so we'll do our buffs down here. And we can see our buffs activated because it's green on the side. And now let's go ahead and get ourselves up there and get into the fight. There we go. That worked definitely a lot better by doing our buffs and then engaging in combat. Now, we're still not getting any of the kills registered. So I can't seem to find out where they are. It does say, per kill Atreides house troops. What are the house troops? Do they look completely different? News to me, I suppose. I haven't seen them before. If you guys know what they look like, let me know in the comments down below. I haven't run into this issue as of yet, because killing all of like the Karits and stuff like that have been pretty self-explanatory. At least I got myself a nice another blueprint right there, and some weapons I can break down. Go and check out the other shipwreck, and maybe there's something that we're missing out on, or maybe there's just different troops located in different areas. They look like House Atreides to me. If anyone knows the reason as to why, let me know in the comments down below. It'd be much appreciated, and I'll also pin it so we can understand a little bit better why we're not getting the points. While I'm here, I might as well run through and steal all the loot and get a load of money. But generally speaking, all you do is you go through, you complete the quest that you're given. So you literally say there the per deliveries or anything like that, and then you'll go and get the points. You can see by, like I said, with my personal contribution there, my personal contribution, which I also have done here, and then so on and so forth. By just going and doing them quests, you'll go ahead and get per contribution. Now you can see the per minute while holding the control point. Let me go and show you that one. So this one's a little bit more dangerous and definitely a lot more difficult. In order to go ahead and do this one, you're going to have to actually fly out into the deep desert, and that's where anytime you cross that wall, it truly activates PvP. So as you can see, we're flying over right now, and just as we get into the deep desert, we'll get an alert right there above our screen which says zone change in 3, 2, 1, and when it changes, it says you are now in a PvP area. The whole deep desert is PvP, and in order to control the zone, you do have to head into the PvP area. Personally, I think they need to increase the points that you get per minute. As it currently stands, it's really low, and it's just so much more worth doing the PvE content rather than the PvP content. I think because you're doing PvP and you've got a chance of losing stuff on you, that the points should be greater, and then it will switch between houses more often and give you a very good dedicated area to actually go ahead and do a bit of PvP. So look at that, a teammate's got a base in the distance, but it's almost 20,000 meters away. It's absurd. If I go all the way to the end of the deep desert and go ahead and click a marker that we can see right there, and I look at it, it's 22,000 meters away. This game is huge. You've probably only been in the Haga Basin, and anything out of the Haga Basin is just monstrous. It is ginormous, this game, and I can't wait to actually play it a lot more and learn so much more myself. Let me know how you're finding the game in the comments down below. Let's go check in this cave to see if the enemies in this cave are House Atreides. I'm determined to find them. Bombs currently, and just a bit of cash. Now I want to try and find an Imperial testing station on the way across. This is where it would be best to do a survey pro, so you can find out exactly where everything is, as long as you do it in the PvE areas of the deep desert. And that way you can kind of show everyone in your teammates. Now, there is a website on the Discord that shows you where everything is. So this being the location of the PvE zone, the safe zone that we can see in zone 9, there definitely is an Imperial testing station. I just don't know where it is. And you can see there that you've got all the wrecks and Imperial testing stations. In 8, we've got an Imperial testing station as well, the research lab. And then out in the desert, this is where everything has been found so far. So all of the houses that we're looking for. So if we were to just say what house is currently active, the ECAS one is active, and that is in D7, which is this sector right here, because it highlights when you're over the map. So in that area is where we want to go to be able to go ahead and get some of that control point activated. So we're going to actually go over there so we can show you. But looking at here, we're in A8, which yet again, by looking at this map, A and 8, there is an Imperial testing station, as well as A9, there was an Imperial testing station. Where it is, I don't know. Get a survey probe, and maybe you'll be able to find it. And hopefully you'll be able to kill them House Atreides soldiers, because yeah, we couldn't find them. All right, we're just going to fly directly towards where we know that place is. We could potentially die. My wings are definitely not in the greatest of strength. And I wouldn't really be heading out here with a Mark IV and I wouldn't really be heading out here in a Mark IV Ornithopter. These things are not the greatest, and they can go down super quick. They fly slow, and their defense is not really that good. But for the purpose of this video, I'm willing to lose all the blueprints I've got on me and the money that you can see in my inventory. Damn, we don't even have much fuel. Oh dear, a House Harkonnen just flew directly over the top of us. Right, we've entered D7. All we need to do now is find the location as to where the zone is. I mean, let's go and check down by the wrecks. Maybe it's paired up with it. Yeah, it is paired up with it. There we go. So we can see where the wreck is. We can actually see the ECAS dome. So there we go. That is what the dome looks like right there. Oh, I almost just lagged out. So we can see it's held by us. And as you stand in here, we are controlling it. I don't know if anyone else is in here. I don't see anyone else in here. You have to hold it for a minute to actually get any points. I've never actually entered one of these. But yeah, I'm guessing it's just a case of just standing in here for a minute and then getting 10 points towards your team right there. For holding the control point, but we are holding the control point as a whole. I don't know if I get personal contribution towards that. I've never actually sat in one of these for a minute. I normally just do the PVE quest that we see above it. So ladies and gentlemen, that's basically everything to do with the Lansrad, how you get points, how you contribute. And when you've got a reward, you're going to want to know how to claim them. But let's get out of the deep desert before we actually get stampled on. So at the end of the week, if your team has won, you want to go to your faction. In my case, I'm Atreides, so I'll go to Arakeen. But if you're Harko, then you go to Harko Village. Just like so, when you enter into Arakeen, you're going to go ahead and skip this cutscene. And you'll see yourself here. All you want to do is at this point, you want to go to wherever the Lansrad vendors are, which are right here. You see where these banner icons that actually look like beer cups. Well, no, they look like beer cups. So these banner icons right here, which are literally just straight up the stairs, and then take your first left. And then you want to go past this little shop right here. And just in here, we see these two banners. You want to talk to the Lansrad vendors. And this is where you'll be able to claim your items if you have got any. But yet again, you have to wait until your team wins it. And in this case, no one has locked in because no Lansrad has won this. We are looking to win this right now. But yeah, if you don't win this, then there's no point of coming here. And if you do win this, then come here to claim all your rewards. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, like, follow, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.